From the CyberHub bunker and studio, you're tuning in to the CyberHub podcast. And now for your host and CISO, James Azar.
Well, happy Monday, everyone. November 8th, 2021. The Practitioner Brief is here. The latest cybersecurity news for this week as we kick off we're counting down the days till Thanksgiving, right? For a lot of people, these next few weeks are house cleaning, kind of getting things in order. And then from Thanksgiving to Christmas, we know that it's the busiest time of year for us in cybersecurity. So we're going to be talking a lot about that over the next several weeks and months as we head into the awesome, magnificent holiday season. I'm already hearing Christmas music in some places I go, which lets me know that if I'm hearing it, then everyone else is hearing it. So we've got a busy show. We're going to be talking about the ProxyShell exploit that Babuk's taking advantage of, 2 new NPM packages. The software supply chain is real. China is on the offensive, according to Palo Alto. Also, cryptocurrency and ATM QR code scams are on the rise, according to the FBI. And good guys prevail with the Clop Ransomware gang meeting its match. So we'll get to that here in just a moment. Today's show would not be possible without our friends over at KnowBe4. So shout out to those awesome folks there as well. And let's get to some of your comments this awesome, magnificent Monday morning. Good morning to Anthony. Good morning to David. Good morning to David M. Morning to Rogers. To the tune of Baby Shark, Larry Rosen, you're going to bring that back, man. You're going to bring that back. And top of the morning to Nate. And Nate says, I am going to hibernate until after Valentine's Day. That is also a quite the feature, folks. So, get folks ready for a good little thin cup of coffee. Whatever you're drinking this morning, start putting it in the comments. I want to know what you guys drink. Right? I may start getting whatever someone here's drinking and just trying it. I might feel adventurous, like my life's not full of adventures already. My double espresso, and good morning to Steve as well. We're ready to do big things today. Indeed, sir. And hello from beautiful, amazing Germany. Good morning to Chris as well. All right, folks, my double espresso, coffee cup cheers. Let's have a great day. Great day, great morning, great afternoon, wherever you are. I know it's afternoon in Germany, so good afternoon to the folks over in Germany. So let's have this conversation. Let's start off with this one, because this is significant. Almost every single organization uses Microsoft Exchange for email, especially corporations, especially big ones. So a new threat actor is actually going after these Exchange servers and are breaching corporate networks using the ProxyShell vulnerability to deploy the Babuk ransomware. The ProxyShell attacks against vulnerable Microsoft Exchange servers started several months ago, with Logfile and Conti being among the first ransomware groups to exploit them, according to a report by Cisco Talis. A Babuk ransomware affiliate known as Tortilla had joined the club in October when the actor started using the China Chopper web shell on breached Exchange server. The name Tortilla is based on a malicious executable spotted in a campaign using the name tortilla.exe. And here I thought someone enjoyed tacos. So the Babuk ransomware attack starts with a DLL or a .NET executable drop on an Exchange server using the ProxyShell vulnerability. The Exchange IIS worker processes w3wp.exe, then executes this malicious payload to execute obfuscated PowerShell commands that feature endpoint protection bypassing, eventually invoking a web request to fetch a payloader named tortilla.exe. I would say tortilla, but it's not. It's tortilla. The loader will connect to a pastebin.pl and download a payload that is loaded into memory and injected into a net framework process, which ultimately encrypts the device with the Babuk ransomware. Here's the thing, though, more specifically, and this is what you guys have to keep in mind here, folks. Tortilla follows these pathways to drop the DLL and .NET modules, meaning it's got to take advantage of one of these listed things here in order to actually successfully execute what it's trying to do. One, if you have not patched any of the following, you should do so now. Microsoft Exchange Auto Discover server-side request forgery attempt. Altigen Confluence OGNL injection remote code execution attempt. Apache Struts remote code execution attempt. WordPress WP config.php access via directory traversal attempt. SolarWinds Orion authentication bypass attempt. Oracle WebLogic server remote command execution attempt. And LifeRay arbitrary Java object deserialization attempt. These attacks rely on patched vulnerabilities, so it's strongly recommended to upgrade your servers to the latest versions to prevent them from being exploited in the attack. The use of Babuk, though, is fairly new for this style of attack. The target is predominantly happening in Germany, Thailand, Brazil, the UK, and the US. The IP address is located in Moscow, Russia, which kind of gives this a Russian stamp. So go get this stuff done. Let's get to some of your comments here. We've got let's see what you guys are drinking here. All right. So we've got Steve's having an espresso 2 times. I like that. Marcia is good morning from Texas. Paul's having a Mountain Zevia Mountain Dew replacement. Okay. Interesting. How about a nice mushroom tea? Great day, everyone from sunny Florida. Love it. Christoph is having a double espresso for sure. Matt Lee, morning. Good morning to Eddie. Lavazza, super crema. Oh, damn, man. That's a magnificent espresso, by the way. Irish coffee for David M. And Nora is with us this morning. So that's awesome. And then Nasser says, celery, lemon, ginger against worms and other Trojans as a healthy antivirus. I like that, man. That's good. And Chris is having water this morning. Water. That's also very well needed. All right. We'll go to this one because this one's about to make your jaws drop. All right. So 2 NPM packages with 22 million weekly downloads have been found to have a backdoor. The backdoor is significant simply because it actually copies all of your password. It includes an identical password stealing malware. This affects the COA, or a parser for command line options, and RC, a configuration loader, both of which have been tampered by an unidentified threat actor. All versions of COA starting with 2.0.3 and above are impacted. They're asking everyone to downgrade to the 2.0.2 as soon as possible and check their systems for suspicious activity, according to a GitHub advisory. In a similar vein, versions 1.2.9, 1.3.9, and 2.3.9 of RC have been found laced with the malware, urging users to downgrade those versions to 1.2.8. So DevOps, have a conversation with them. If they're using it, make sure they downgrade, and then launch your forensic team to actually investigate this stuff. Because if they're stealing your passwords, then they're going to get access. Once they have access, they've got persistence. Once they've got persistence, game over. China on the move again. This time, they're breaching defense, energy, and healthcare organizations worldwide. Cybersecurity firm Palo Alto warned over the weekend of an ongoing campaign that has already resulted in the compromise of at least 9 organizations from critical sectors, including defense, healthcare, energy, tech, and education. To breach the orgs, the threat actors behind the cyber espionage campaign exploited a critical vulnerability, CVE 2021-40539er, in Zoho's enterprise password management solution known as Manage Engine AD Self-Service Plus, which allows remotely executing code on unpatched systems without authentication. The attacks observed by Palo Alto Networks researchers started on September 17th with scans for vulnerable servers 9 days after CISA. It detected it it detected the exploit in the wild and issued a joint advisory with the FBI and the United States Coast Guard Cyber Command. Exploitation attempts began on September 22nd after 5 days of harvesting info on potential targets who hadn't patched their systems yet. Through global telemetry, we believe that the actors targeted at least 370 Zoho Managed Engine servers in the United States alone. Given the scale, we assessed that these scans were largely indiscriminate in nature, as targets ranged from education to Department of Defense entities. Following the advisory, the researchers observed another series of unrelated attacks that failed to compromise their targets, hinting at other state-backed or financially motivated hacking groups likely trying to join in on the Zoho server fun. Right now, according to Palo Alto scans, there are over 11,000 internet-exposed servers running the vulnerable Zoho software. Once they get access into the victim's system using the CVE 2021-40539er, the threat actors first deployed a malware dropper that delivered Godzilla web shells on compromised servers to gain and maintain access to the victim's network, as well as malware, including an open source backdoor known as NG-Lite. They also used KDC Sponge malware known as Credential Stealer, which hooks into Windows LSAS API function to capture credentials, domain names, usernames, passwords that later get sent to an attacker-controlled server. Once they gain access to the initial server, according to researchers, the actors focused their efforts on gathering and exfiltrating sensitive information from local domain controllers, such as Active Directory database files and System Hive from the registry. This has been linked to APT27 out of China. So if you are using Zoho, please make sure to get it patched and make sure to get it taken care of as well. We'll move to our final two stories for today's show, folks. One, the FBI is warning that scams involving cryptocurrency, ATMs, and QR codes are on the rise. The FBI this week issued an alert on fraud schemes that direct victims to use cryptocurrency, ATMs, and quick response codes to make payment transactions. QR codes, which have been very, very popular during COVID because, well, it saved everyone a bunch of time from having to print menus, and we didn't know if COVID was transported through surfaces. So QR codes became a thing that everyone started to get really comfortable and take for granted. So the scammers request payments from their victims and may direct the victim to withdraw money from the victim's financial account, like investment or retirement accounts. The victim is provided with a QR code associated with the scammer's crypto wallet and is also directed to a physical cryptocurrency ATM to purchase crypto and send it to the scammer using the provided QR code. This is something good to spread across your organizations and teams today, just to keep them advised as to these scams. And finally, good guys prevail. 6 arrested for roles in the Clop Ransomware operation. 6 individuals allegedly associated with the Clop Ransomware were arrested in a global law enforcement operation that went from South Korea to the Ukraine and the United States. Under Interpol's coordination, were involved in a 30-month investigation dubbed Operation Cyclone. The 6 arrests were made by Ukrainian law enforcement in June, when a total of 21 police raids were conducted on the homes of suspects in Kiev and elsewhere. The authorities seized computer equipment and roughly $185,000 in cash. As part of Operation Cyclone, in addition to these arrests, authorities issued 2 red notices, which are internationally wanted persons alert, that circulated to Interpol's 194 countries. The Clop Ransomware threat group was involved in attacks on numerous private and public organizations in Korea, US, and elsewhere, which resulted in access to computer files and networks being blocked. The group targeted organizations in aerospace, education, energy, finance, healthcare, high-tech, manufacturing, telecom, transportation, and logistics. According to Interpol, the 6 individuals that were arrested helped the ransomware gang transfer and cash out more than $500 million. They also threatened victim organizations with leaking stolen data if additional payments were not made. If they are found guilty, they could be sentenced to up to 8 years in prison. That's it for our practitioner brief today, folks. We'll be back again tomorrow right here live at 9 a.m. Please make sure to smash the subscribe button. And I can't wait for later this week. We have some really special content. Tomorrow, I'm dropping a new CISO Talk episode, and they're going to start dropping on Tuesdays as we make that transition, folks, by the way. So just keep that in mind, please. And until then, have a great rest of your day, folks. And most importantly, stay cyber safe.
We love feedback, so make sure to connect with us on social media and subscribe to our podcast on your favorite podcast listening platform.